Chief Government Peace Negotiator Miriam Coronel-Ferrer renews her appeal to legislators to work towards the passage of the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law. Ferrer's appeal comes in anticipation of the resumption tomorrow of the regular sessions of Congress. She urged legislators to be present in the remaining sessions of Congress and finish what they have begun. More of this report from Freddie Abando.
The approval of the draft Bangsamoro Basic Law is a major challenge when sessions resume tomorrow in both houses of Congress. Speaker Feliciano Belmonte vowed to finish floor debates and put it to a vote before the start of the Christmas December 19. This is the third time that the timeline has been moved due to the failure of the authors to debate and defend the proposed measure because of the quorum issue. The first deadline was in June before Congress adjourned its second regular session. The second was the recess on October 10. The government's chief negotiator, Professor Miriam Coronel-Ferrer, is hoping for the best that Congress will give the draft Bangsamoro Basic Law its highest priority.
We are still hopeful, but of course, we cannot say 100% na sigurado to. That's why we have to really accompany the process to so that it will reach yung talagang final destination niya. We're dealing with more than 300 members of the House of Representatives and senators, many of whom are running for elections, and they all have their individual agenda. So, mahirap yan matiyak kung ano talaga yung game plan nila for the rest of the term of the president all the way to the election. I mean, that's the unfortunate reality. But in any case, we're counting on the goodwill nitong ating mga mambabatas at napagbigyan naman ito kasi napakahalaga nitong bagay na to para dun sa mga apektadong Bangsamoro.
Ferrer stressed it's a must for Congress to pass the BBL before the break, set the stage for a referendum in February to be followed by the creation of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority. Despite the delay in the approval of the draft law, Ferrer said the MILF are committed to the cause of peace.
Ang maganda dito, the leadership of the MILF is saying that we will push this as far as we can go, stay on the course of peace. Yun ang maganda dito. Wala pang bumibitiw doon sa dalawang parties. You can imagine a situation na meron nang nag-give up unilaterally o bilaterally, di ba? Between the government and the MILF. And what kind of a situation will you have now? May kaguluhan na ngayon, may gera na ulit. Ang maganda, hindi up yung dalawang partido.
Some members of the House have reservations that the draft law will not pass approval given concerns on the inclusiveness of the peace agreement. Ferrer stressed the draft BBL is inclusive to benefit all stakeholders in the core territories of the proposed Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. Late
February, hopefully, early March, para in order to enable the President to establish the Bangsamoro Transition Authority before the election ban. So may ban sa appointive powers ng ating Presidente sometime in March, and we're hoping to catch that. Otherwise, if the law is passed later, but under this Congress, then that or will belong to the next president.
I don't want to think that we're forcing the issue, even if there are questions that need to be answered. That is why I believe that we need to review, example, the implementation of the Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, because if we will not learn from the lesson of the implementation of the ARM, we're deemed to repeat the problems in the Bangsamoro government.
The approval of the BBL to implement the peace agreement signed by the government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front in 2014 has the full support of the business sector. John Forbes, Senior Advisor of the American Chambers of Commerce and lead convener of Arrancada, an advocacy the Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce in the Philippines, support President Aquino's commitment to win the peace in Muslim Mindanao, a conflict that has spanned over 40 years of agony and anguish for so many of our Muslim brothers.
The bottom line, you're quite correct, that passage of a BBL that meets the that really implements the comprehensive agreement on Bangsamoro not necessarily the BBL versions that are presently in the Congress. So it's very unclear to me that even though Speaker Belmonte and Senate President DeLon have prioritized, that the final version will be one that is at all similar in some fundamental issues to where this process started when the bill was forwarded by the administration.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.